Hello and welcome to the Overwhelm is Optional podcast. I'm Heidi, Marke, coach and biggest cheerleader for successful but secretly overwhelmed women. As well as weekly episodes here on the podcast, you can find out more about what I offer by going to heidimarke.co.uk. Hello, welcome to this week's episode of the Overwhelm is Optional podcast. This podcast, if you're new around here, is for you if you are a successful woman, you've worked hard, you've done your time pushing and striving to get the life that you want, and yet you're secretly struggling with overwhelm. You're secretly struggling with the battle with that stress, overwhelm, exhaustion circle, going round in circles where you get something done, you achieve something, you make it to the weekend, you make it to a holiday and everything feels better, and then you just end up going back into the fray like you're just holding it together but with enough rewards in there to keep you stuck in that never-ending circle. It's very frustrating. It feels like you never quite got to that point where you can breathe out and say, yay, I made it. It was worth all that studying. It was worth all that sacrifice. It was worth pushing myself so hard. Look, I made it. Woohoo. You never quite get there. Oh, so annoying. You're in the right place. This is where we gently rebel, gently but firmly, rebel against the idea, the absolute nonsense, that to have a successful life, which to me means well-paid, fulfilling work, relationships that you can enjoy, that you can be yourself in, that you can be present in, that you can let go and have fun and, still stays connected to that part of you that knows how to laugh easily, that can be silly rather than everything being serious all the time, and that you feel well, that you feel like you have energy to do what you want to do, that you can focus on what's important to you, and that you can switch off and relax with ease. The whole thing. Around here, we gently rebel against the idea that wanting to live your life to the full means doing a deal where, you can have what you want, but you have to be stressed and overwhelmed to maintain it. We don't do that here. We are gently rebelling. Why gently? Because rebellion takes energy. When you have to make a stand, it takes energy. There's a better way of doing it. How we rebel matters. And it's not just that. We don't just want to waste energy getting feisty and fighty and having to take a stand. But when we rebel more publicly, it's just hard work, because then you've got to maintain it. When you do it secretly, gently, when it's just inside you, it's just easier because you're not having to kind of take a stand and then justify it. You're not having to explain it to anyone. So a gentle rebellion is firm. You're definitely rebelling. You're definitely done with the overwhelm, done with the stress, done with this frustration of never quite feeling like you've made it. Done with all that. But you're not going to announce it to anyone. You're just going to find your way, gently but firmly. So it takes a commitment, which is why it's easier if we do it together. It's easier if you come into my world. Welcome to my world. Can you hear Nutmeg? One of my dogs has just jumped off the spare bed behind me and is now doing one of those scratchy dog things. So it always makes me laugh when I'm on a bit of a roll with the podcast and one of the dogs suddenly moves. Anyway, welcome if this is the first time you've been here. Welcome if you've been here for every single episode. I love you for that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's so good to have you here. Now, if you may or may not have this. So for those of you who don't know, I have a free audio, 1 minute audio called the 1 minute mark, which I'm laughing at myself now. I like things to be as simple and elegant and easy as possible. And I was looking at my website thinking, why is it so hard to find the 1 minute mark? Why is it so hard to find my courses? Why is it so hard? And I can see what happens. It's because there was a way of doing it which I was taught, which was fine, but now doesn't work for me. So now you can just go to my website and the 1 minute mark link is at the top. Easy peasy. So if you haven't got it yet, go and get it. Why? Because it's 1 minute and it will change your life. It won't change your life just by getting it. It will change your life if you use it. So the 1 minute mark does lots of things, which I'm not going to tell you about. There is an episode somewhere about that, but I'm not going to tell you. And here's why. As soon as we expect something, as soon as our mind gets involved with the 1 minute mark is supposed to do this, then you start trying to make it happen. Yeah, because we're high achievers, right? We want it to work, and we want it to work for us, and we want it to work now. So then we try really hard. And the 1 minute mark is not painless. It shouldn't be painful anyway. It's an effortless practice of all of the opposite things that get us stuck. So we created our success by doing what we were told. We were told we would have to sacrifice, push ourselves hard, strive. Lots of striving going on. Lots of staying inside studying when other people were out doing whatever. Lots of going for promotion. Lots of kind of toughening up and selling ourselves into the next level, or taking our businesses to the next level, being brave enough to set up a business, being brave enough to pitch to a client, all of these things which are kind of strivey, pushy energies, which don't necessarily nourish us if we just stay in that energy. I mean, we want both energies, don't we? We want to be able to get out there and promote ourselves. But for me, it's the how do I do that in a way that nourishes me? And that's the gentle rebellion. So for me now, it's how can I build my business in a way that feels really good to me? So I'm always looking for the easiest way and the most joyful way, the most Heidi way. Everything I do is like, well, how would Heidi do it? Sounds like one of Joanna Spyri's books. No, how can I do it in the most gently rebellious way possible? That's what I'm asking myself a lot. I don't have to ask myself it for kind of normal everyday things now, because that just comes naturally, because that's the nature of practicing something. But for big things that are feeling a bit stuck, so I spoke about this, I think a few weeks ago, the episode on how to do hard things the gentle rebel way, because we don't want to stop growing, we don't want to stop expanding, we want our full adventure, we want to do all of the things, but we want to do them in a way that just is so good for us, that is really our secret way that nobody else really knows. So, for example, my book, so I've been writing my book, and my planned release is now October. It was September. And I'm really happy to say it's October, because that makes sense for lots of reasons. That's part of my rebellion, is to say, that's okay, October, that makes sense. That's all good. Woohoo, good for me. So asking myself, how can I make that book happen by gently rebelling against the idea that it has to be hard, that I have to get stuck, that it has to be really pushy and writing a book so hard. What if it wasn't? What if it's easy? But the very, very easiest place to start is with the 1 minute mark, because that audio, which I'm going to do with you in a minute, that audio accidentally practices. It's passive. You just get to allow yourself for 1 minute to stop trying, to stop achieving. You can't achieve the 1 minute mark by pushing to relax. All you have to do is listen. That's the achievement. You just listen, you just press play for 1 minute and you've achieved. That's it. How nice is that? Woohoo. Anyway, it starts there because that is my neutral noticing method, which is the non-judgmental awareness that Buddhism talks about, which is just wonderful, because our minds are full of judgment, aren't they? Bashing us into shape, warning us all the time that we haven't done something, or we haven't done something well enough, we're not good enough. It's a bit naggy, it's not much fun. Anyway, noticing neutrally how often that happens starts to change your life, quite literally. It's amazing. All my clients use the 1 minute mark, and if they don't use it anymore, it's because it's embedded in their head. Scarily with my voice, not scarily, because my voice on there is very soothing. Even I can see that when I've used it. Right. Anyway, so the gentle rebellion starts with you deciding that you're done with overwhelm, stress, exhaustion, and being frustrated at not quite ever feeling like you get to do the things that you really want to do, the things that you, they just go to the bottom of a to-do list, even small things like repotting a plant, or what have I got on mine at the moment? Repainting the chicken house. Yeah, that's because it's a big thing, but I'm not worried about that at all. And that's the thing, isn't it? It's being able to say I'm okay with that not being done, rather than it being nagging all the time. For me, there's more important things I want to do. Oh, I'll tell you a funny little story. So I decided that I'd make the chutney anyway. Why is this important? Why does it matter? First of all, who eats chutney? Especially as I now have, 6 or 8 jars of it. Secondly, my justification for not making the chutney was valid if I'm taking the pressure off myself. But this is what happened. So I'll start from the beginning. 16 years ago, nearly, I met my partner. And the first time we went out for a drink, we talked for hours and hours and hours. And one of the things we talked about was the fact that both of us wanted to build with straw bales. Now, what's the chances? I mean, there'd be bigger chances now because there's many more straw bale buildings have been built since then, because this is 16 years ago. However, that's one of the many things we bonded over. How romantic is that? Simon is 50 this year, and although we have the space to build, because we have some outbuildings to replace, we'd already kind of decided it wouldn't be yet. We were doing the not yet, which is understandable because there's lots of other projects going on, because we have so many lovely things going on. But then suddenly he decided that actually he really, really wanted it to happen. It was supposed to happen for his 50th. He wants it to happen. So I kick ass on getting in a gentle, rebellious way. You understand when I say kick ass nowadays, there is no stress involved. Oh no, not happening. I wrote a very, very nice email accompanying my planning letter saying, please, can you make my dream come true? And it did. It all happened beautifully, easily. Anyway, this build is not only happening quickly, it's a garden room. It's going to be so beautiful. It's so exciting. It's not only happening quite quickly and quite easily, but it's happening right now. It's happening right now. So what else have I got? So on Saturday, we took delivery of 186 bales of straw, and it was absolutely joyful. So I wrote in my journal in the morning, it will be fun, it will be easy, it will be joyful. 186 bales. And it was all of those things. I must say that my legs still feel a bit prickly and itchy from the straw, but apart from that, all good. So before that, my mind was doing all of this stuff, and the farmer was saying it will block the road and the traffic won't be able to get by, and you must have other people to help unload, otherwise and also you have to keep straw bales really, really dry. So then there was, what's the weather going to be like? Where are we going to put them? How are we going to keep them dry? It's a lot. How long will it take? Where do we store them? And neither of us managed to work out the volume of storage correctly. So there were lots of things that could go wrong. But I decided, no, it was going to be fun. Because it's a celebration of us. I mean, it should be joyful. Just because, it's not like we have to do this, but it's easy to get into that, isn't it? Into, oh no, how am I going to make this? It's just another pressure. Anyway, so I've got the straw bale thing going on. I've got my book. I've got I'm opening the doors again to my group program, Get Your Life Back, and talking to people about that, which is super, super exciting, fills my heart. Oh my God, I can't wait to gather the next group. And I'm up leveling it all. So that's a lot of my attention's going, and I could do this, and how can I make it even better? I'm so excited. And then I've got my 2 courses, Overwhelm to Ease 7-day audio course, which is just, I love it. And then I've got the Time for You course, the feeling of time, not just creating time for yourself on a schedule and then feeling guilty or not knowing what to do with it when you get it, and all of that, but actual proper time for you that feels spacious. And then I bundled those 2 together into something I've called the Summer of Ease bundle, so that you can get them together cheaper for just £144. The link for that will be just below here. or go to heidimarke.co.uk/summer and the link should come up. Any problems, just email me and I'll send it to you. So, there's lots going on. There's some other things as well. There's a load of other things. There's always stuff going on, right? Life's full. Life's lovely. Life's, and at the same time, my non-negotiables now are good sleep, great food, time for movement, time for contemplation and journaling and silence and alone time and time for connection. And, like this, I have my vegetable garden, I have my dogs. I love my life. There's a lot in my life. So adding in a book, the filling of my group program, remembering to shout out about my special Summer of Ease bundle, and then all my wonderful clients. I love my clients and just being there for them. And there's lots, and it's all good, and it's all actually easy because I've set it up in a way that works for me, and because everything I'm doing nourishes me. However, I did catch myself doing this. So on Saturday, the farmer was supposed to come between 2:30 and 3, and I was on free cycle in the morning we've got loads more rubble ready to come out for around the site, so I can get the drainage really good for the straw bales. And so I thought, well, I'll put the rubble on free cycle and I expect somebody will come and make use of it again. Anyway, I'm on free cycle and a woman's put up a note saying, has anybody got apples, pears, fruit? And we've got a lot, and they just wanted some to make. And I thought, I love giving back. I just love giving it. And we've got eaters and plums and cooking apples and figs and lots of wasps, because of the weather, where the weather's been really dry, there's been more windfall apples. And I don't know, anyway, you always get that. You just get nature just chucks the apples off the tree. They're not all ripe. Some of them are ripe, some there aren't. And then the mice and the birds and my chickens and the wasps come along and eat them, and it's a bit messy. Anyway, I just thought, well, yeah, she wants them, she can come and make some stuff out of them. That's really cool. So I just said, yes, you can come. But you don't know when somebody's going to come. And of course she came half an hour before the tractor blocking the entire street, this entire lane, was going to come. And part of me was thinking, why would you do that, Heidi? Why would you make it more complicated? But the other part of me went, no, it'll be fine. It'll all work out. And it did perfectly. I explained that there was 186. Well, it was 170. We decided to take all of them in the end. I said, there's some bales turning up, and we got talking about, and she was talking about lime render, and it was just, it was so joyful. Anyway, then I explained to my partner that she was coming and they wanted to make chutney, and he looked at me and he said, but you want to make chutney. You like making chutney. Why are you giving all our fruit away? First of all, you can't give it all away because it's just in masses of abundance. And secondly, I caught myself saying this. Obviously, I haven't got time with everything we've got going on. Why would I be making chutney this year? And he didn't say anything, but I caught his reaction, and I just, it wasn't a bad reaction. It was just like, I caught it, and I love that I caught it. I love that I have practiced neutral noticing myself enough to catch these things. And I wasn't snappy. I wasn't at all snappy, which is another thing to catch. Look at me, there's a woman in my garden with her son's getting bags of fruit, and her car is blocking the drive, and the tractor's about to turn up. And there was no snappiness. There was just magic. I felt at ease. I was enjoying myself. I was loving all of it. And but I caught myself, and I thought about it later, and I thought, yeah, he's right. Why am I not making chutney? I like making chutney. So I made the chutney anyway. And do you know what? Oh, it was so easy. I made it in a way where it didn't feel like another thing to do. And this is the thing, right? We want to do things. How do we make them easy? How do we have what we want? Because we know what we want, really. And when we don't know what we want, it's because we're overwhelmed, and the overwhelm is blocking access to what our heart and our body really, really wants to tell us. And once you deal with the overwhelm, it's like going down the rabbit hole in Alice in Wonderland, only with the most soft, beautiful landing, and me to guide you if you're going to go, if you want to join me and get your life back, or work with me one-to-one, or have one of my courses. You get me to meet you down the rabbit hole and guide you through the overwhelm. But if you're going to go through your adventures in overwhelm, know this, on the other side, it is amazing. It's also like, I was also thinking about Narnia, you know, when they go through the wardrobe, and it's amazing. Life without overwhelm is amazing. You can make the impossible happen with ease because you have tons more energy, you have the clarity, and because you're connected to your heart, when your heart says, oh, I do want to make chutney, even though I don't know who's going to eat it, even though I live in the middle of the countryside, so you can't give chutney away in the countryside because everybody makes chutney because we've all got too many apples, too many courgettes, and I'm probably the only one with too many figs, and we don't actually eat figs. And people have very interesting reactions. People either say, oh, yes, I would love figs, or really? It's quite funny, but we have an abundance of figs again this year, which is just, I love the fact that nature just provides everything in abundance. So I can't reach all of the figs, and so the birds have them, the wasps have them, and then when they fall down, the chickens eat them, and then when they fall down and they dry out, the dogs come along and eat the dried figs. It's just amazing. So I don't even need to, even if I pick all the ones I can reach, I have too many for me and too many for the people that I see. Okay, I don't see that many people, but you know, there's just an abundance. Nature is amazing, 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 amazing. Anyway, this is why I made the chutney anyway, because my heart went, oh, actually, yes. It's not that making chutney is one of my non-negotiables. It's not about the chutney. It's not even about the making of the chutney. It's about the fact that when I decide I can't do something because I'm too pressured, too busy, oh, no, I don't do too pressured and too busy. So it made me question it. And so I made the chutney anyway, because actually I do have space to make the chutney, because we're not actually, Simon's at work, so we're not actually building right now. We're not actually doing anything right now. And it rained. It was raining. It's rained for 1.5 days. It doesn't take very long to make chutney. And I did, my coach has done some extra training for me. I was listening to that while making chutney, and the two things together just worked in this beautiful flow for me, because one's using my mind, one's just me chopping and thinking about fruit. It just worked beautifully, absolutely beautifully. So that was my gentle rebellion, was to make the chutney anyway, even though my mind could go into panic of, you've got too much to do, this is really stressful, you can't do all of these things at once, you're going to get really tired, you're going to get overwhelmed, you're going to go backwards. No, I'm not. Never. It's never happening. I am so done with all of that. It's never happening again. And not because I'm compromising, not because I've decided that I can't have all that I want. I can have what I want. I can have exactly what I want and more. I just have to find out how to do it with as much ease as possible, with as much fun as possible. I have to do it in an energizing way. So I have to pause and respond, and sometimes journal it out, sometimes ask for help, sometimes take it to my coach, often take it to my coach and say, da, 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 da. And then she'll take me to the next level faster, which is just amazing. And that is how I'm doing all of these things with ease, with joy, loving my life, loving it. So just wanted to share the chutney story. Just in case that inspired you in an amusing way. And I wish I could give you all chutney, but you can't send that through the internet. Not yet. Anyway, so before we do the 1 minute mark together, because I just haven't taught it on here for ages and it's so good and I so want you to experience it, but don't do it if you're driving. Before we do that, I just want to make the offer really clear to you again about what I'm offering right now. So the Summer of Ease sale is my 2 mini courses bundled together at a discount. You can find both courses on my website, heidimarke.co.uk. And if you want the bundle where you save money because you decide, yeah, it's summer, I want to do both courses with ease, because I imagine you just lying in a hammock or going for a walk, you know, or if it's raining, just bundling up in a blanket with your journal and doing that. So the time for you one does involve journaling. And the Overwhelm to Ease 7-day audio course doesn't, unless you decide it does. And within the only a few minutes of listening a day, it very cleverly coaches you to make a decision which is most you. the easiest way for you to use the course. And you can always go back to it and do it with the added journaling or not anytime you want. Da, da, da. Honestly, it's genius. I love the way I've created it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Anyway, so if you want both of those, you can check them out on the website. And then if you want the special deal, then you need to click the link below this or go to heidimark.co.uk/summer to get the two together in a bundle. That's a really good deal, really exciting. And the other thing is, if you are a successful woman who's ready to not just get your life back, actually, when I first set up Get Your Life Back, that's what it was designed to do, and now it does so much more. Get your life back and create a life that works for you. Let's get that going. So you get to hang out in my world for a whole year with me as your biggest cheerleader. Woohoo! And I really recommend that if you've decided you're done with overwhelm and stress, that you find somebody who inspires you and models that for you. Because when you hang around with somebody who's already doing what you want, you tend to calibrate up to their level, because just by hanging around them, you absorb the possibility of it being true for yourself. And when you work with me, when I become your coach and your biggest cheerleader, I will coach you into that. So it's faster, it's deeper. One of the things I love about Get Your Life Back and working with me one-to-one is we get you out of what I call self-development hell. Because I don't know about you, but I spent years doing personal growth, and I'm very committed to personal growth, but how we do it matters. How we do everything matters. So we want to do it the gently rebellious way. And that is just starting from the idea that you're already perfect. So there's nothing wrong with you. And that all we're doing in personal growth is allowing the beliefs and habits that don't serve you to go gradually, gently, without threatening the status quo, without causing stress and overwhelm. So you're becoming more you rather than trying to bash yourselves into a shape that fits the life that you've set up and worked really hard for, but doesn't really quite suit you. So there's two things going on there. One is letting go of the idea there's anything wrong with you, which can obviously raises a lot of resistance, because it's like, yeah, but I'm not good enough and I can't commit to myself first because it's selfish, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, loads of stuff. I've got you. I am full of love and full of integrity. If you want a coach who's got your back with love and integrity, then yeah, pick me. It's how I work is just with deep integrity, deep love for you, deep kindness for you, with respect for us as humans. We beat ourselves up so much. We can have the most joyful lives, but we've got to give ourselves a break. We've got to find a way to live our lives, not what we think we ought to be like. It's too damn hard. So I see it as the overwhelm, stress and exhaustion cycle, where everything gets better for a bit and then it gets worse again, then it gets better for a bit, and it's the gaps between the overwhelm and the stress that keep you trapped, because it's like, well, it's getting better, it's worked, here I am again. So if you're bored of that, if you recognize that's a circle for you and you're like, literally, I'm going around in circles, I've been here before, but I've already done loads of personal growth. When do I reap the rewards for all of that personal growth? When do I reap the rewards for all of that hard work? When do I get to feel like I've made it? When can I just breathe out and look back and enjoy the view? It's tedious, but actually that's a really good place to be, because that's showing you what's going on, and it's unpleasant, and you don't want to hang around there for longer than you need to, and you don't need to hang around there. Come and hang out with me, come and work with me. So if you're at that point and you're ready to do something, then you need to book a call with me. You need to do it soon, because we start on the 10th of September. And obviously I've got a limited number of places, because I'm going to be working with you for a year, and I'm not going to take on lots and lots of people. No way. This is me very, very much involved. This is my group and I love it. And I can't wait. If this calls for you, I cannot wait to see your discovery call booking go actually. It doesn't go ping because I have no noises. I don't know about you, but I have no notifications on at all. But I can't wait to see an email saying you have booked a chat with me, and I can't wait to hold the space for you to work through whether joining me and Get Your Life Back is the right decision for you. I can't wait to hold the space for you and see you making that decision one way or the other. You know, I cannot wait to do that for you because it's such a privilege. This is my work. I love it. I absolutely love it. One of the things I wanted and what I want for you is that feeling of working at your best, you know, the thing that you really, really lights you up. Well, that's what I have. So doing discovery calls I love it. I can't believe how much I love my work. Anyway, so if this is calling for you, you need to book a call. To book a call, you can go to my website, go to work with me, book a call, or just email me, Heidi at heidimark.co.uk. You can apparently DM me on Instagram. I'm saying that because so many times I've gone DM me on Instagram, but the thing is, do you really do that? I don't know if I do. I mean, I do, and I do check them, but I just find it a funny thing to say. Maybe it's my age. Anyway, here we are. So we're going to do the 1 minute mark together. Do not do this if you're driving, and obviously if you're walking, you can do it walking, but probably don't close your eyes. So if this is safe for you to do so and appropriate for you to do so, I'm going to invite you to close your eyes and send all of your awareness down to your feet and feel your feet on the ground. And then get really curious about the physical sensation of your feet on the ground. Allow your belly to soften if it wants to. And if it doesn't, that's okay. Just notice, completely neutrally, how you feel in this moment. Feel your feet on the ground. Softening belly or not. Maybe allowing the shoulders to move away from the ears if they want to. And notice completely neutrally how you feel in this moment. And don't try to achieve anything. Don't try to change anything. Don't even try to relax. Just notice. And know that however you feel, however busy your mind is, however distracted you feel, however you feel is however you feel. Just notice. Notice how you feel. And when you're ready, without any hurry at all, I invite you to open your eyes and then pause again and notice. Notice how you feel. And then I'm going to invite you to do some imagining with me. Some imagining. So I want you to imagine that I have a magic wand. I have a magic wand, and I can just make this magical feeling that you crave of ease, of everything being done, of everything being safe, everything being complete. This magical feeling of ease is coming your way. So just imagine, how would it feel if it was easy for you to be in your life? Imagine if you felt at home in your life. How would that feel? How would it feel in your body? Just notice. And then maybe taking your awareness to your heart space, the centre of your chest if you want. If you're on your own, you can put your hands here because it can be helpful. Or not. And notice any physical sensations in your heart when I say feelings of ease. Feelings of ease, feeling at home in your life. Imagine if your life just worked for you. Imagine if it was set up in a way that really suited you down to the ground. Imagine if it really was your life, completely yours, especially for you. Especially for you. Everything's set up so it felt easy. How would that feel in your body? Now your mind might start setting off some alerts. Your mind might start saying, but you can't have that. It's impossible. Or, but what, does I don't even know what that means, and I don't really know what it feels like in my body or my heart. I don't know what this means. That's okay. So one way of responding to the mind, if your mind is thought bombing you, or if it's traveling off in time and space and it's warning you, or if you're getting kind of self-doubt, like, I can't feel physical sensations, I don't know what you mean, know that this is normal. So some people just, when I say that, they get nothing from their heart, they find it really difficult to drop into their body, and their mind just starts spinning away. That's okay. It happens. It's no big deal. Just notice it all. So we're not trying to change anything here. So we're not trying to get your body to relax or automatically reconnect you with your heart. We're not trying to get any answers. All we're doing is neutrally noticing. And that means noticing all of it. So when I say notice, how would that feeling of ease feel in your body? How would it feel to feel at home in your life? How would that feel in your body? All you're doing is noticing everything that happens when I say that. So there may or may not be feelings of ease in the body. There may actually be feelings of tension in the body. But identifying and labeling them as ease and tension is in itself not neutral, right? But we're not going to get tangled up in that. We're just going to notice all of it. So there's layers upon layers upon layers. So there's the physical sensations or not. There's the physical sensations in the heart or not. There's the attention being distracted and suddenly needing to fly out the room. There's the suddenly remember you've got lots to do. There's the arguing with yourself in your head. There's being thought bombed by your mind. There's being judged by your own mind. And then there's the judgment of the judgment. I should be able to do this. This should be easy. Whatever's going on for you is whatever's going on for you. So noticing it all as useful information rather than, well, this is good, this is bad, this is rubbish, this doesn't work for me, I'm not very good at this, or this is really nice, I wish I could have this all the time. Just notice all of it. What comes up for you? And you could replay this another time and different things would come up for you. And all of it is useful. And most of it we'd block. And that's the issue. So what we're tapping into here by using neutral noticing, and the best way to get good at this, which it's a self-awareness practice with a difference, with loads of other stuff, which I'm not going to go into because it activates your thinking mind. And I'm sure you spend enough time in your head thinking. So neutral noticing allows us to access the missing information, the information that we are not taught to tune into and also highly discouraged from tuning into. So you may or may not relate to this. So as a child, I was very sensitive, very shy, very daydreamy, loved being in nature, loved animals, loved plants, often just walked looking at my feet, felt very connected to the ground. Felt very sensitive to criticism, very sensitive to the feelings in a room. Would quite happily have stayed at home in my room or in the garden or with my dog. And then when I was a bit older with my guinea pigs, when I used to breed guinea pigs, I would have quite happily have just done that and never gone to school. So I was told things like, not to daydream. I think that's quite a normal thing, isn't it? And you can understand that because obviously, being educated, doing well at school has its advantages. So if you're looking out of the window and you miss instructions, and I do remember missing an instruction, I was very, very young. So I went to school at 4 and this was infant school. So I guess I was 5 or 6. I was in that kind of bigger class, and we were doing painting and I'd missed all the instructions, and this was quite normal for me. And I suddenly woke up to find that we were all standing in front of our easels and everybody had paint apart from me, and I couldn't ask the teacher because she was frightening. Honestly, she was terrifying. And I saw friends when they were adults who were in that class, and they were scared. We were all scared of her, so I couldn't ask her. That wasn't an option. But I didn't really know who else to ask either. I don't really know why. I just missed the instructions because I was daydreaming. So I do understand why people told me not to daydream. But the thing is, daydreaming is actually a superpower, because you can imagine in what you want. There's all sorts of things you can do with daydreaming. So now I'm fully in with my daydreaming, fully accepting of it. I welcome it. I love it. I teach you how to use it to your advantage. It's a big thing for me, daydreaming. But I was told not to daydream. And obviously, you know, as we move through childhood, we are told more and more that working hard is important. And that means predominantly working with our minds. So we're filling our minds with information. And we're also told that we can't do exactly what we want to do. And while socialisation and politeness is very important, there is an issue, isn't there, with being told as a child, no, you can't grow up to be this. Even if it's right, as in, yeah, that would be really hard and there's some easier routes for you and you should keep your options open. So by that we mean compassionate and helpful career advice. There is a problem with crushing children's dreams in the way we say it. And if you're very sensitive, that can be a problem. Why is it a problem? Because your heart needs to weigh in on the conversation. This is what I know to be true now. This is what I teach. So for myself and all of my clients and everyone who's been through Get Your Life Back, we all have a tendency to get stuck in our heads. So smart, well-educated, intelligent, savvy, sensitive, lovely, lovely, big-hearted women. And we all tend to overthink, just overuse our minds, and then dismiss physical sensations from our bodies and disconnect from our hearts because we don't think it's safe or sensible to listen to them. And that's understandable because that's the cultural norm at this point in history. In most Western societies. So neutral noticing allows you to just gently start to reconnect with the physical sensations in the body and reconnect with the sensations in the heart. Now we start by just gently noticing the physical sensations in the heart without interpreting them. So everything we do is very gentle, and this is really important because it's very easy to get cross with the mind, but the mind, it's no good getting cross with your mind. It's your mind, and the human mind is incredible. It's not great for happiness, but it's great for a ton of other things. And what we really want to do is harness it. And the way that I teach to do that is by controlling your attention. So we're never trying to control the mind, because yes, there are techniques for controlling the mind, as in quieting the mind or changing the thoughts in the mind. Now I do challenges of beliefs, obviously, because that's a sensible thing to do, because what we believe to be true about ourselves determines how we behave. So it's connected to how much love and ease we allow into our lives. So if we don't genuinely feel that we are worthy of relaxing until we finish something, then we're never going to relax. It doesn't matter how many relaxation techniques you learn. It's just not going to happen, because part of you's not going to really let go because it's not safe to do so. So beliefs are very important, but I like to start by bypassing the mind and just with neutral noticing. So there's all of this information there that's available to us. So in that exercise, I was just asking you, imagine what would it feel like to feel at home in your life? It's such a beautiful question. And I highly recommend that you ask it to yourself every day this week in a playful, curious way. So by that, I mean, not taking it too rigidly and seriously as if there's one right answer, because that's a mind-based answer. The mind likes to have everything, all the ducks in a row, everything sorted out. But in this situation, what we're doing is we're just opening up resources. So the purpose of this is just to practice neutral noticing, to practice noticing the rest of the information that's there for us, that's just useful. And the only way to allow that to come through easily and safely is to not judge it, because otherwise, if the mind's sifting, it's going to squish anything that feels unsafe and it's going to focus on things that feel safe. and that's gonna give you very limited access to your what I call your internal navigation system, your compass. It's just not going to give you the full picture, because the mind sifts for safety, quite rightly, because it's evolved to keep you safe but not necessarily happy. And you want more than safety, because working hard to keep everybody safe, to keep everything running smoothly, that's costing you. It's costing you your energy, it's costing you your joy, it's costing your ability to be silly and playful and childish, and that quality, that rebellious, playful quality, that's where the expansion is in life. That's where the energy is. That's where the happiness is. That's where the real full adventure is. It's when we turn life into an adventure rather than a struggle with a destination. That's when everything changes for you. Playfulness, heart. Now, I was going to say heart-led playfulness. We're not talking about heart-led life, because we want the mind to weigh in, we want the body to weigh in, we want to keep really grounded, we want to keep a roof over our heads, we want to keep money in the bank, we want to have meaningful work, we want to have great connections, we want to do all of the things. We don't just want to do heart-led, because that is imbalanced as well, right? At the moment, we're raised to be mind-led. It's not working out. The mind is easily overwhelmed, and then it blocks us from the easier ways of doing things. We don't want to be just heart-led, because that's a bias. We don't want to be just body-led, because then we just end up really fat and doing nothing and sat on a pavement, It's just, we want all of it. We want our hearts, our bodies, our minds to weigh in on the whole conversation. We want to live wholeheartedly. And wholeheartedly to me means with the body and the mind all weighing in, going, what's your full adventure? How can you feel most at home in your life? How can you feel at home in yourself? How can you love yourself? How can you love and accept yourself? Because love and acceptance of yourself is how you get to feel at home in your life. And feeling at home in your life is how you dare to create a life that works for you, when you feel at home in. And at home in to me means both snuggling up on the settee under a blanket, eating Haagen-Dazs, sat with my dogs, and building straw bale buildings and going trekking in the pool. It means, and releasing this podcast, and creating a business that works for me, and writing a book, and all of it. I want all of it. I don't want to compromise, and I want all of it for you, but not by exhausting ourselves, because by definition, we can't have all of it when we do it the old way. That's the old way. The punishing, exhausting way, that's the old way. That's done. We're done with that. Draw a line under it. I'm no longer available for overwhelm. I'm no longer available for stress. I'm no longer available for constantly being frustrated that I can't quite do the things I want to do. That doesn't mean I do it all at once. And right now, yes, you could say, Heidi, you are doing a lot of things. Yes, I kind of am, but actually it's over a couple of months and I've set it up so it works for me. So now I can do all of these things at once. A year ago, no, because it's constantly improving. It's constantly changing. The more I do this work, the more I commit to myself, the more I dare to gently rebel against the normal expectations of life, where if the people around you are saying, well, this is just how things are, which is how I was working in a very big school, and the people around me, stress and overwhelm was the price you paid to have a job that gave you school holidays, despite the fact that most of them worked through their school holidays. It was the deal they did, and despite the fact that other professions without school holidays are just as stressed, so it doesn't make any difference. It's just like, it's not a deal, it's not worth it, it's not a good deal. At least it wasn't for me. For some of them it might be, I don't know. That's their business, that's their life. But if you are surrounded by people who are telling you that you shouldn't be this tired, you shouldn't be frustrated, you have a great life, what's wrong with you? That's one thing somebody said to me, what's wrong with you? On more than one occasion, what's wrong with you? And I couldn't explain it, because the truth was everything was wrong. My life doesn't work. I worked really hard for this. This isn't what I expected. This is not the life I intended to live. And I was spending more and more time gazing out the window thinking, I wish I was outside. 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 I want to be outside. Now where am I? I just go outside. What am I doing after this? going outside. Because that's important to me. That's what matters. These are small things which are big things, because it's about being true to ourselves. How do you want to live your life? It's not just what do you want to achieve. It's not just about getting through. Thank God I got through that day. I really struggle with things like when you say to somebody, how are you? And they say, not too bad. And it's not that everybody means it in that way, but to me it's like not too bad. So not too bad is above feeling bad. It's like your expectations are too low for me. How are you? I'm amazing, thanks. Really good. Love my life. It's almost like I have to hide this. My life's really good. It's like I cheated. It's so good I cheated. It can't be this good. Really? I can just have a nap at lunchtime and then eat Haagen-Dazs on the settee with my dogs. Yes, I can. Why? Because I want to, because I dreamed about doing that. I used to dream about doing that. When I was employed, I would dream about that. And I used to dream about it because I was so exhausted I couldn't keep my eyes open. Now, I do it just because it's nice and I can, and because napping's a good thing. And actually, the reason I did it today and yesterday and actually fell asleep was because I moved a lot of bales at the weekend and a lot of rubble, and actually my body needed a rest. So a snooze was very welcome. And I love the fact that I can have weekends or afternoons or whatever I want, moving rubble, moving soil in my garden, doing really heavy work, and have a life in which I can recover. That's really important to me, really important to me. But what's important to you? What matters to you? What would it feel like to create a life for you? One that just works for you, one that feels like mine, where it's like you're cheating, that it really gets to be that good. Yeah, that life. If you know and you want to share it with me, I'd so love to know. I'd so love to know. And of course, if you want help achieving that, come and work with me. I would love to talk to you about what you want and how we can get you there, because I specialise in helping women who are successful but secretly overwhelmed get their life, not just get their life back, but get their life working for them. See you next week. Thanks for listening. Thank you for listening to this week's episode. If this resonates with you, please use the like, subscribe and share buttons to help other people find their way here too. And please do go to www.heidimark.co.uk/the 1 minute mark with an E to join my mailing list and receive my free 1 minute life-changing audio practice.